Pioneers, let me introduce you all to this very simple concept. If you want it, you gotta go get it. When it feels scary to jump, you gotta jump anyway. Otherwise, you'll end up staying stagnant in the same place your entire life. And that we can't have. Fear is not real. It's false evidence appearing real. The only place fear can exist is in our thoughts of failure. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that are not present and real and may not ever even exist. Easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. The hard choices you make, pioneers, what we most fear doing, asking, saying, these are very often exactly what we most of the time need to do. Don't be afraid to reinvent your life yourself. Don't be afraid to be different. You ain't gotta fit in. I tell my son all the time, why are you trying to follow everybody else to fit in when you are clearly meant to be a leader? It's always better to do your own thing, to be different. No matter what situation you get yourself in life, Bentley, you can turn yourself around, your life around. It ain't never too late. I did it. Most times when you get up early, you work hard, you blood, sweat, and tears, and then you put in the grind, the hours, you stay late. Times you don't feel like working, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream, the pioneer mindset. That's the dream. The craft and skill you're building, they'll get you to your outcome. It's not the outcome that matters though, it's the journey that matters. It's very important that you engage in an ongoing process of craft and skill that'll get you to your outcome. Work on yourself, talk to yourself, water yourself, grow yourself. Overcome the negative connotation and conversations that have been going on inside your head, even when you don't want it to be there and you can't stop it. You can't stop from thinking the negativity. Don't worry, your dreams will outweigh anything. Dreams without goals, though, are just dreams, and ultimately they fuel disappointment. Set goals, life goals, weekly goals, monthly goals. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, hard work, due diligence, hard work, consistency. You gotta work at it day in and day out. Plan. Write a contract to yourself. Grinding. Hard work works. I don't care where you come from, who you are, how much you weigh, what your race is, who you love. I don't give a damn about your gender. I don't care about none of that nonsense. If you do the work consistently, day in and day out, if you invest in yourself, your mindset, 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. 10,000 hours of work when everybody else is partying, making excuses, being lazy, being stagnant, doing the cool thing on the weekend, it's going to pay off for you, but not for them. You can do this, pioneers. A lot of people won't let you forget what you used to do, what you've done, your mistakes. All of us have made mistakes. I do it all the time. All of us have done some things that if we had the chance with the time machine to do it over again, we wouldn't do it again. A lot of things that if I had to do over again, I'd do it. A lot of things that if I knew then what I know now, it'd be different. But here we are today. Looking so good, feeling so good, raising the frequency, raising the vibrations. But life ain't cut and dry, and that's why most people fail and they don't reach greatness, because they're casual about life. And when you're casual about life, you'll end up a casualty. Can I get a hello? And what I need you to do, pioneers, is find a reason to keep going, keep grinding, keep pushing. And if you can do that, because I know you're strong enough to do it and you can handle it, anything that comes your way, you'll beat it. Every human has what it takes to get past what it is, what they're going through. You gotta push through it. Fourth quarter overtime. Tragedy and trials and tribulations come to everybody, but only the strong pioneers survive. Practice and practice and practice makes perfect. It makes improvement. You can always be better. You can always go beyond anything you've ever done and do better. You're never in a state of perfection. You're going to be growing, evolving every day. Always bigger and better than who you are right now. Don't go around telling people what your story is. Everybody got a story. 80% of people got a story. 20% of people wish their story was yours. And a lot of other people just don't care. It doesn't matter what your story is. It matters what you do with it. A lot of people want to be successful, but they want to go to a club on Thursday and Friday, on Saturday and on Sunday. And then on Monday, when they get back into real life and the workplace, they're getting outperformed by everybody in life around them. And they're wondering, why ain't they succeeding? Why ain't they getting a promotion? Shut your fucking ass up and do the work. That's why. Get to work, because what you believe in your hearts and speak in your minds will eventually become your words and your reality. And what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset. And what gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset becomes an unconscious action and an unconscious activity. And I've always wanted mine to be guideful, helpful, and nurturing to others. So sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you are in this matrix and galaxy today. As we get ready to approach St. Valentine's Day, the Superb Albo, the Super Bay Albo, President's Day that we have following coming up very soon. So it's so very important. A lot of things that we're going to be talking about in this video, as well as cryptocurrency technical analysis, numerology, cryptocurrency, day connections. So again, as we approach Super Bayall, the Superb Albo game, you're probably all aware of that regardless of where you live in this realm, these big sporting events are rituals that are scripted around a code that go back anciently and are going to affect our lives moving forward this year, next year. So on this channel, we're not promoting the idea of watching sports or this game or betting on them. We are high beings and decoders that are using our ability to see the symbology and using our knowledge, gnosis, wisdom to bring you this symbology and numerologic connections, subliminal messages that these events symbolize for us moving forward. So a week or so ago, I released my Super Bowl Decode on Facebook, a 2-hour-long episode, and you can all go and check that out on the Daily Candle Close News anytime that you wish, and feel free to do that. We've talked about it since then, but this was the main one. Okay, very, very scripted around 322 and the year of the rabbit, some things that we've been talking about. We've been able to release this full decode and again talk about it one time since, and we'll be talking about it today as well. So feel free to hit the like button, become a follower, share, so we can raise this community to high conscience vibrational beings that want to succeed in life too, become divergence and glitches in the matrix. So very important. So hopefully, if you watch some of the videos, you realize some of the hard work and value that I provide in my work. And maybe you see how deep this mad scientist behind the scenes really works to provide the most impossible numerologic connections that could be irrefutable around technical analysis, news, sporting events, etc. So with the upcoming Super Bowl 57, we're going to be talking about that, tying us all the way back to Rome. All roads lead to Rome. So, very important. I did share in the title how I see the score being a total of possible 52 points, tying us into the year of Rabbit giving us 52, or possibly it being 22 to 30, or 31 21. 3 plus 1 is gonna be 4, and 2 plus 1 is 3. It's played on the 43rd day of the year, leaving 322 days left in the year. So let's see what happens tomorrow as we watch this very scripted ritual event take place on the world stage. I really do think it's gonna be a nail biter, keep you on the edge of your seat, very explosive game. We do know that there's some leaked footage of the Super Bowl that was released, and we'll be breaking that all down today. There was an article in the news as well as a Twitter post or something, this picture that was sent to me by some a fellow at work, and I'll share what I think about that, as well as going over cryptocurrency technical analysis and talking about the simulacrum that we live in today. A lot of things. We'll be talking about Lupercalia, or Valentine's Day, coming up. So if you're new here, we use cryptocurrency technical analysis combined with numerology, gematria, astrology, prehistoric teachings from a prehistoric world, math and numbers, which is common sense, rationality, and truth. We use common sense to understand, so we can understand these markets, the world, the news, the sporting events, this matrix reality and realm, this womb that we still live in. So feel free to subscribe and stay up to date on the new videos that will be coming out in the future. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get into this chart right here that we shared in our previous video, which is our 33 and our 137 being the 33rd prime number chart. We've called it our 33 chart, something we've talked about. So we're on the daily time frame for Bitcoin right here after our February 2nd, the 2/2 date, which ties us into something that I've taught my pioneers for several years now. It ties us into reset. Very important, giving us that 22. It ties us into change and energy. It ties us into recycle, giving us that same 22. Very important. On February 2nd, we start to see a downtrend in the market. So not surprising, on February 2nd, 2/2, we start to see a reset after this energy we've been getting, bringing us a rejection from the 322 exponential moving average, the blue, bringing us back down below the 223 exponential moving average, tying us back into skull and bones. And we'll get into that deeper and show you what else it ties us into in just a moment, and bringing us back down below 21,000, retesting our $21,500 range that we shared with you all, was very, very important, and a key range to hold support and get a bounce from. This is sudden destruction, gives us 215 when typed out in numerology, something I've shared for months now. So a very important range that we needed to break. So we know typically around this 22, anything tied to it, we get a reset, like I've stated, around the 21st, 22nd of the month, usually around a full moon, new moon. We tend to get a microstructure top or microstructure bottom on a short-term time frames around this time period. So not surprising, getting rejected from, like I said, the 322 exponential moving average, and then falling below this 322 exponential moving average, 223, on February 9th, a date that was 137 days, dating all the way back to Rosh Hashanah, last year's Jewish Hebrew New Year. So very crucial, these two very important moving average that we tie into skull and bones. But not only skull and bones, we know it's deeper than that. It ties us into the Lucas numbers. It's not just symbology, it's always math as well. Math is rationality and always true. And pay attention to the most important, the 100th Lucas number, very close to the golden ratio of phi that we talk about all the time, giving us that 161 as well. But this Lucas number being very important because we know the 13th Lucas number is 322. So very important. And when you type out the Lucas number series, you get 223, as above so below, as well as this 119 that we'll be talking about later in the video, because we know it's so very important, tying us into a lot of amazing things that we made connections to over the past year. So hopefully we won't forget about that. It's a very important number, going to be tying us into the upcoming Super Bowl as well, when we talk about that a little bit more later. So it's irrefutable, undeniable how numbers always play a card into this. So it goes deeper than these fraternities and skull and bones and symbolism. Numbers are everything that we can use in our everyday life. Remember that. So getting back into this 137-day span period from the start of Rosh Hashanah last year to where we saw the sell-off, 137-day time period, the 33rd prime number, it's just another addition we can add to our 33 chart, giving us another sell-off, an important time period below this 223 exponential moving average for the first time since late January. So multiple weeks and dailies trading and consolidating in this arduous sideways trading range before we started to lose it. So very important that we pay attention to this. So who knows, could we continue down and fill in that CME gap that we talked about at 19,300, 19,500? Who knows? Do we get close to it? I don't know. Maybe we can discuss that later. But going back to talking about this date numerology of 137, it doesn't only tie us into 2 days ago and yesterday. It's going to tie us into today and the start of the Super Bowl next year, because Rosh Hashanah, a very important time period, last year's Rosh Hashanah was a multiple day event that then led into the first day of the Jubilee. So when we tie it to the second day and yesterday, it's still a 137-day time period, okay? So that's so very important. But we saw this sell-off start on yesterday, 2-9, or internationally written 9-2. And that's going to tie us into, of course, the Shemitah, giving us that 92. Very important, okay, in reverse ordinal. So very important. We know that's also tying us into the upcoming Superb Owl Bowl, the Super Baal game, giving us that 92. Okay, so very important. Okay, Baal is a ancient deity that means Lord, as above so below. So remember that. Okay, so it's also tying us into another figure that we get in some more mythologies, which is Yaldabaoth. Okay, so when we continue to type that out, we see that Yaldabaoth also gives us that 29, as above so below. So we knew yesterday, being a 137-day span period from the start of Rosh Hashanah, was tying us into so very important things, because it ties us back into the mythologies. But ultimately, again, I just believe this to be an illusion sometimes, you guys, giving us that same 29, because you cannot tell me that at times you have not felt like our lives are movies, you guys. Every single one of us, giving us that same 29, mirror of 92. It's time for us to become the director of our own movie, the star, Ready Player One, write our own scripts, you guys. It's time for us to be the main character, the supreme star, okay, the supreme alchemist and architect that I know you all know we can be, okay? Awesome. So very important that we just remember that. We got to be the supreme. That 33 and 137 being the 33rd prime number, very important. We've been talking about that. It's okay. Very important. We got to be the alchemist, you guys, and we've got to start writing the novels of our lives and the books that we are writing every single day, giving us that same 29. All I'm trying to do is share with you before I pass on out of this world is give you all the wisdom, okay? So very important, alright? It's just my job to be the tour guide, the coach, the leader, okay? And it goes deeper even than just the numbers and the connections, okay? Than finding the true numerological value behind a noun, person, place, thing, phrase, etc. We can even tie this back into the 92nd element, uranium giving us that 92. And when we look at the Royal Society of Chemistry, we see that, okay? So very important, okay? It's you guys. The key, it's always you. You're the key, okay? Alright? So don't believe the negative connotation around it. This is derived from the planet name Uranus, okay? Again, tying us into the mythologies, okay? So again, tying us into February 9th, or 9/2, internationally written, this is tying us into the elements, okay? Irrefutable, undeniable. So, very important, Awesome. It's crazy, you guys, because not only do we get the 92 in uranium, we also get it in Enervo, okay? We get this 2992 connection in Enervo, which means to deprive of power, where we get the same 92 connection as well. So it's always dating back to Latin and ancient mythologies, the other languages that our English language was created from. So again, uranium being tied to Uranus, being the sign ruler of Aquarius, the zodiac symbol that we're in right now. So seeing this sell-off in the cryptocurrency market coming in on 2/9 during Aquarius is not surprising to me. And while we knew a 137-day time period from the start of Rosh Hashanah could be volatile, something we've been preparing you for in our latest videos, especially on 2/5 on the full moon, when we tend to get bearish energy 3 to 5 days before on, or 3 to 5 days after the new moon, bringing our microstructure low, where we like to long the full moons and short the new moons coming up. So very important. We've talked about this over and over again, and it's not surprising, you guys. All this is tying us back into again, Enerva, to deprive of power, right here around 9/2/29, February 9th, okay? It's almost as if it's an algorithmic code pre-programmed to play out to an algorithmic code. Look at the 227 we get in Enerva, and to deprive of power. We were talking about breaking the 22,700, which is the 49th prime number range in a chart that we knew if we broke, we were headed to 223 in the 223 year. And if we did not hold, because we got a rejection, kiss of death that we'll talk about later, and fell right back down to this sudden destruction range, something I've warned about in advance before we saw it happen. So this 137 is all tying us back into simulation, what we live in, you guys, okay? The matrix reality, okay? Or simulacrum, giving us the 33. 137 being the 33rd prime number, okay, as we approach St. Valentine Day, okay, irrefutable, undeniable. These 38s that you're seeing, it's tied to death, and we're seeing death currently in the cryptocurrency market. Irrefutable, undeniable. The 25 you get in death, you get in rabbit, in the rabbit year, the Chinese year of the rabbit. Irrefutable, undeniable, something we've been trying to teach you here. So very important, you guys. So let's see how lovely Valentine's Day is. But we're in the matrix, the womb, the simulacrum. You know, it's not external, it's our reality. The matrix is inside of us. We are the one, and we must become the champion, giving us that 137, the 33rd prime number. We must unlock our 33rd degree, the pineal gland. Okay, irrefutable. We're golden. That's 79 right there. That's the golden element, okay? We stay golden, pony boy. We get that same 79 in wisdom, you guys. So use this, okay? Very important. This all ties us into Uranus, the 92nd element, which is known as the primordial sky god, giving us 92, okay? Alright, so I just want to make sure I made this decode very thorough and showing you why I saw February 9th being a very volatile day for the markets, especially when we tie these things back to the mythologies and our origins. We can become the alchemist, the director, the supreme, you know, the one that has the wisdom, the knowledge, the gnosis, and we can write our own novels, you guys. So very important, you know, be the director of our own movies instead of living in this illusion, okay? So, again, we got this. Excuse me, let me get a drink of water. So, like I said, this was dating us back to Rosh Hashanah. So, this could be, instead of 2 days ago and yesterday, this could be today as well, you guys, tying us into the end of Rosh Hashanah and the start of the first full day of Jubilee, going into tomorrow, the Super Bowl, again being 137 days span, a very important time period, a day leaving 322 days left in the year. This could be a volatile time period for the world, the cryptocurrency markets, scripted events, scripted deaths, whatever, who knows. So we'll go ahead and get started into some more discussions on what we see coming up throughout the rest of February. We're in a very crucial time period, and if you're new here, go back, watch some of the videos, do some due diligence, take notes. But from February 9th up until the Super Bowl Sunday, because Rosh Hashanah, the last Rosh Hashanah, started on the 25th leading into the 28th, the first full day of the Jubilee year, it's going to be a very important time period, connecting it to the Super Bowl, okay? The 43rd day of the year, the 14th prime number. Bitcoin is 14 years old. There's a rumor this year saying that no more crypto bowl. You can't produce exchanges in crypto, can't air cryptocurrency commercials during the Super Bowl, so we'll see what happens. But, you know, anyways. We just see that this is going to be a very important time period. Alright? Alright. So, let's see what happens on the world stage. Cryptocurrency, the Super Bowl. I can't wait to decode the halftime show and, you know, see the symbology that shows us the world we tend to be moving into after these events. These very scripted events. Okay? So, the past 2 days were a couple volatile days. Today we're kind of, you know, still holding some critical support of 21,500. Not surprising, being the 42nd day of the year, tying us back into Saturn, you know, tying us back into Bitcoin. This 211 is tying us back into also some of the guys that help run the show. Very important day. 211 internationally written as 112. Zionists giving us that 112. They're the ones that help manipulate the markets, giving us sorry about that. Manipulate the markets, giving us that same 112, and it all ties back into the Judaism. Okay, giving us that same 112. So just very important today being a possible, potential volatile day, because it's just retail trading in the markets, so we got to keep this in mind. But going back to the date numerology and talking about these connections, just very important today, leading into tomorrow, the Superb Owl, Super Bay All game, a very scripted, powerful event that we're going to see play out. So we're possibly going to see how this number 33 or the number 12, 52, 25 all tying into the year of the rabbit, or this 322223 is going to continue to be very important numbers playing out. Especially this 133 is very interesting, or the 137 being the 33rd prime number, because this year's Super Bowl is being played out on the 33rd parallel that connects us through Phoenix and Glendale, Arizona. So irrefutable, undeniable. By April, May of 2024, we'll finally have this X and cross across America from the last several eclipses. So next year could be a very major year come mid-year. So we know this is Super Bowl 57, and we do have this upcoming date tomorrow, a day that adds up to 57. This is clearly ritualized. It's always played on the 43rd day of the year, and a day leaving 322 days left in the year. Last year's Super Bowl ended 20-23, 2-2-3. So very important. This is a standard date numerology of 12 in the year of the rabbit in the Chinese New Year, giving us that same 52, 25 connections, that 12 that we're talking about tomorrow. So very important. This 52 tied us into director or uranium that we were talking about, that 25, very important as well. So as we approach the upcoming Superb Owl Bowl, it's going to be very, very important for us to pay attention to tomorrow, 212. We know that, again, this is still, the Gregorian calendar, the scam calendar that we go off of, and we actually know that February is really the 12th month. On the 12th day, that 2 times 2 times 3 gives us 12, with a day that adds up to 12 with the standard numerology they give us. So this 12 is a very powerful number. We have 12 zodiacs until they finally gave us the 13th back, Ophiuchus, Ouroboros, the dragon. But we have 12 cranial nerves. We were taught about the 12 disciples. So this 12 could be a very, very key important day and or number to pay attention to moving forward. We'll determine after the Super Bowl, I believe, if 12, 52, and 25 will determine to be either good luck or bad luck numbers moving forward this year, just like we were able to with the year of the tiger last year. So very important. Okay, remember, the Cowboys equal 102. They had 12 points scored in their last game, and they lost, which gave the San Francisco 49ers their 12th win in a row, something I shared in my Super Bowl decode. So already showing some symbolism to the number 12, because this game started on January 22nd, the start of the rabbit year, rabbit giving us 12. So hopefully you see some of the mad scientists behind the scene. Okay, so I'm gonna get another quick drink of water, excuse me. Alright, so I've been talking about a lot. Hopefully you've been enjoying it. So just something we're going to keep in mind to continue to teach you all, okay? Because we are leading into 213, the 44th day of the year, which is honestly, when you do your due diligence on Lupercalia, it was a 3-day event that was started on 2/13 and ended on February 15th. So let's keep that in mind, alright? We know, again, something that I've shared with you all is the superb Owl Bowl ties us all the way back into the Bohemian Grove, giving us that 213 Super Bowl 57 75 as above so below. This is a 138-day span period since the end of the first day of the Jubilee, so pay attention to these connections right here, being the 44th day of the year, because what I'm sharing with you is this is the start of Lupercalia, giving us that same 44 on the 44th day of the year, you guys. Irrefutable, undeniable, and it's all tying us back into Saint Valentine Day, the following day, 214. Okay, and it's irrefutable, undeniable. Sorry if I spelled this right. You're gonna see the connection here. Giving us the 44 Saint Valentine when we spell it correctly like they did. Today's 211 when I'm giving you this video. So very important. Alright, let's continue on. Alright, but Lupercalia, just tying us into St. Valentine's Day and Cupid coming up. You know. But it's amazing how we're going to be discussing Lupercalia and some hidden secrets and truths behind this pagan ritualistic holiday of Valentine's Day around Eros, baby Jesus, who was symbolized as the god of love, lust, desire, and sex, you know. So remember, these pagan Greek ancient people used to use a baby, a child, as a symbol of sex and love. So again, you know, just proving more of an ancient sex cult that we still deal with today. Red pill for you all, pioneers. So amazing. Remember what you celebrate. Something we'll talk about in just a moment. All right. Kind of want to see where we want to go from here. Obviously, I think we're done with the date numerology. We'll talk deeper about the end of February coming up. So, let's go ahead and get kicked off into some of the cryptocurrency technical analysis and get straight into the markets, because we have obviously been looking at Bitcoin lately, and since my last video right here, it's done exactly what I thought we'd do. Retest this 22,700, which did not hold, which finally gave us a breakthrough of 223 and a retest of our 21,500, which, you know, we called. And we hadn't seen this 223 exponential moving average for 33 days since we got back above it and then came back and retested. So that 33 number, again, playing the cards, very important. So we haven't touched this in 33 days. So again, unhealthy to stay above this with the RSI overheated in a bearish divergence while price action is moving up. We knew a downtrend was coming based on technical analysis. So very important. So boom. Alright. So falling below the 49th prime number, which tied us into the Shemitah year, the 49 sabbatical year, and we've had a bounce so far off of 21,500, our previous resistance range when we were in our rising wage, which we tend to break lower, held support and had a rally on ups, and the RSI overheated, overbought. This got pretty scary, and we talked about this, okay? So not surprising to see a bearish divergence, price action going up, and now to get some cool off, some relief, and a reset to oversold, underbought territory for the RSI on the 2-hour time frame. Okay, very important. Let's look at this closely. Up 50% from the lows, But welcome back, everybody, to the Daily Candle Close News, where the money is made, where we give bangers out every week. And I'm going to try and continue to do that, and not give up on you all. It's all about you, and I want you to succeed. We knew our target upwards price action target range was our $25,000 range in the year of the rabbit giving us 52 and 25. Okay, so very important. Okay, $25,700 being the 55th prime number. We didn't quite get there yet, so on the daily time frame, we're still trying to get back above the 223 daily exponential moving average. Okay, so still holding support of this previous breakout top right here. And if this was the run up we were looking for, we were expecting it to break out higher, you guys. But right here around February 7th, we had this dip and then a rally because our favorite lizard pal, Jerome Powell, came out and recently spoke, and he kind of gave a fake out, bullish energy up moment to the upside, but we knew better, and we know better because we've kept an eye on this for quite some time. Because we know every time these lizard pals come out and talk, whether it's the recent Fed meeting, we get a dump, or the CPI rating, we get a dump, irrefutable, undeniable, every single time. So, we got to pay attention to this stuff every time these people talk, okay? They give us good news, and they give hopium to the American people, and then they liquidate the markets, okay? So you got to be more sophisticated. They give us the news, but it always affects us in a negative way, okay? Anything popular is wrong, okay? So any unsophisticated traders that have been buying the top, they don't know how to react when they start to see this fall off and downtrend. So, anyways, so in March they're going to announce another rate hike, and let's see what happens. It should be around March 15th. They've been slowing down. Does it pause? That would help the cryptocurrency market. Do they change the reverse of high interest rates, etc.? We don't want to see them raise the rates. They're already down at 25 basis points, and people are kind of getting quote-unquote excited about it, and we're seeing this excitement in the market. So we want to see this CPI data come in increasing still. And then maybe we can get another rate reduction, and that would be huge for the stock market and cryptocurrency. I know a lot of you may not understand it. It's for more advanced technical analysis pioneers that watch the crypto, because again, this could be huge for our investments in the short term. So let's keep that in mind. Very important. All right, so people are like, John, where was your video recently? Why weren't you out here preparing us for this on the 9th? And it's because my work came out on the 5th up here, and previously in the past few months preparing you to accumulate and what to expect leading into an automatic rally. So I don't have to be out here every day. I got a life to live, a kid to take care of, a restaurant to manage that I'm now homeschooling, my son, and I like to live life. I know what's happening here with my craft and skill that I'm developing here, and I can get away with taking time off, and I'm giving it all to you for free to do the same thing with. So that's why I wasn't out here recently. Go out to February 5th and before, and I posted how these support levels could be lost, and we need to watch them. And well, I gave you dates to prepare for, and I told you to set your limit orders, set stop losses, to de-risk, and there's not much more I can do. You know, what is the value of someone giving you the answers that Bitcoin's going to possibly dump, your altcoins are possibly going to dump, you know, and you don't take advantage? I don't have to come out here and record a video every day like some of these nonsense YouTubers. When I give you the answers, what are you going to do with it, okay? Alright? I know it's not easy to comprehend, but do the work, okay? Alright? And you can succeed too. Alright? You know, I'm just saying. Stop buying tops and selling bottoms. Stop following nonsense and build your own craft. Alright. Enough ranting, sorry. Let's get back to our favorite chart that, you know, I really do like. Are we on the 2-hour time frame in this though? Yeah, I do believe so. Oh yeah, we're already there. But if we look at these exponential moving averages, we see something that I don't like to see a lot, you guys, and that is this kiss of death, where we break below the 223 exponential moving average. We get a fake out above it, and then we just plummet to the downside. So, not very good. You know, falling to the bottom of our, you know, falling wedge pattern. Okay, holding support of it right now of 21,500. You know, so let's pay attention to that. But you gotta imagine there's a ton of buyers in the markets right now because it's had that CME gap. So we could have some kind of bounce at this 21,500 treated as support. But what happens when we get back up to these fallen support ranges? Could we get rejection and then come back down before moving up? So, you know, we're probably forming some type of possible falling wedge with a 68% chance of a breakout to the upside. So very important, okay? Let's pay attention to the fundamentals, technical analysis, okay? Alright, maybe this doesn't just go insta drop and clear the CME gap that we talked about at 1993, 19,300, you know, who knows? Just continue to pay attention to these horizontal trading ranges that we teach here. So very important, alright? See where we want to go from here. Alright, so remember on February 5th, I told you watch this key support level of 22,700. Okay, it's been flipped. Alright, and this exponential yellow could flip below this blue, and that could be bearish. You know, a bearish pioneer cross. That's not good. Or get a bounce off. That would be good. Okay, but this bullish bounce that we need to see is this 21,500 going back in time. And that would be crucial, you guys. We don't want to come down here and start setting lower lows than these previous wick ranges right here. If we do come down here to 20,500, you know, that wouldn't be surprising. 25, the mirror of the 52, 25, we're getting rabbit. So that would still be setting a higher low, okay? So very important, okay? If I was to pull a fib pull on the micro, you know, I don't really like to do this a lot, bearish fib pull, and pull it up to the top, we see that we could possibly, we failed the 888, we're holding support of the 1, so we can climb back up to the 702 very easily in the 618, the golden pocket. We would like to see that. And then continuate up above the 5, the 382, break this high, okay? Get red hot heated up here, but come back and find some support somewhere, moving average support, etc., for a breakout. You know, we do tend to sometimes get 68% breakouts that do get rejected and fall lower though. So kind of like a dead cat bounce, you know, setting a high, lower high, lower high over time. So very important as well. This could drag out, okay? Alright. We'll pull a regular fib right now from this high to this low. And yeah, to get to that 702 where we got our recent rejection, 23,400. That's going to be close. I like this more, 23,200, 232 or 223, 322. It's an anagram, a mix-up, so very important. But I don't know why anybody else would watch any other channel if you're interested in making money in cryptocurrency and developing a mindset, a thesis if you're in stocks. So subscribe, like the video. I don't like to ask, but get it out there to high conscious individuals that want to take advantage so they can make money, because for some reason you're not interested in it. I don't know. But a bullish bounce would happen about 21,500, possibly 21,000 even, 21,100 maybe, 213, 214. The date's coming up, Valentine's Day, Saint Valentine's Day, Lupercalia. So very important. Let's see what happens after we exit the Super Bowl. We know what happened last year. I shared that in one of my recent videos. Go back and check it out, and you'll understand how the month of February tends to have a dip with a rally after. So let's talk a little bit more about the Super Bowl and the simulacrum, because we were just talking about that not too long ago. And it's like, of course we live in a simulacrum, a simulation, okay? It's 80% organically written out by code, and 20%, I believe, manipulated by man. We see the Chiefs this year have a record of 16-3. 163 is a Chin prime number, by the way. Very important to math. Do your own due diligence. Total points scored was 546. Okay, 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. Okay, this 15 was a very powerful number this past year. Patrick Mahomes wears number 15. Okay, but 6 All-Pros, including a Kelsey brother and their quarterback, AFC's number 1 seed, and the same exact matching outcomes for Jalen Hurts, number 1, NFC's number 1 seed. Overall 546 points, 6 All-Pros, Kelsey brother, 16-3, a Chin prime number record. So very important, you guys. And we predicted 3 days before the playoffs started that we could see the Philadelphia Eagles possibly in the Super Bowl. We predicted them at least to be in the NFC Championship, but we knew the 49ers would have a hard time getting past the Philadelphia Eagles, and I knew this by using the code, you guys, that we've been sharing with you for 3 years now. So irrefutable, undeniable, very, very proud to be able to see the Eagles going far in the Super Bowl. I wasn't right, but we'll see what happens moving forward. We know this is the 57th Super Bowl, like we talked about, but it's preordained, for these two teams to be here. Patrick Mahomes was born in the year of the pig. Jalen Hurts was born in the year of the tiger. Okay, not last year, and we know this dates back multiple years. Okay, I was born in the year of the horse. All right. So the Kansas City Chiefs football team was established and founded in the year of the pig. The Kansas City Chiefs was established in the year of the pig. Amazing, huh? Just irrefutable, undeniable how these players play for the teams they play for. Jalen Hurts, okay, he was born in the year of the tiger. This Super Bowl will be played in Glendale, Arizona, and Glendale, Arizona is a symbolism for the goat, okay? And that's a friend to the pig, okay? And we know Jalen Hurts plays for the Eagles. The eagle head is connected to a bird. It's connected to the rooster. The last time the Eagles won a Super Bowl, Super Bowl 52, we're in the year of the rabbit. Rabbit equals 52. But the last time the Eagles won a Super Bowl was in the year of the rooster. But this previous World Cup, France had a rooster on their uniform and they lost, okay? So I'm just making some connections, again, diving deeper into this Super Bowl for us, you guys. But the rooster is an enemy to the rabbit, okay? Where the pig is a friend to the rabbit. So I thought that was very esoteric, and wanted to continue to make these connections before tomorrow's Super Bowl, because when decoding is very important. There's been some leaked interviews or not articles and messages saying that the score has already been predicted, one news article and one like Twitter tweet or whatever, and they're saying both that the Eagles are gonna win, just trying to preemptively, subliminally program the minds of the masses, because the level one truther thinks that once they see something, that's it, and they don't dig deeper, okay? But they say it's going to be 24-21, you guys. That's a total of 55 points. Irrefutable, undeniable. 20, that's a total of 45 points. In Glendale, Arizona. But, Jalen Hurts is 24 years old, and that's tying us into some symbolism that we brought up in the past of our Super Bowl decode. It's tying us into the Jupiter logo, the year of the eagle is a symbol for Jupiter and Zeus. Very important that we make these connections, okay? So very important. We're playing for the 2022 football championship this year, so just making these connections right here. That was the Tiger year, the 2-4 year. So I'm not paying a lot of attention to this nonsense that's being shared, harvesting the energy of the masses, making them choose the Eagles. But this other one's showing the Eagles are going to win 37-34, showing you another 3-point game, Not surprising to see two leaked scripted outcomes by both 3 points. Leading into this game, both teams are 3 losses apiece. So it's just, I think this is just nonsense right here. Distractions, okay? Kind of like that Chinese spy balloon, getting you a sleight of a hand, look one way while something else happened. So let's just talk about some decode right here. 37 for the Eagles is the 12th prime number. Again, tying us into rabbit. We're in the year of the rabbit, okay? Irrefutable, okay? We're playing the Super Bowl in the year of the rabbit, but it's for the year of the tiger season, okay? So one quick connection right there to 37. The total points scored will be a total of, if this is to happen like this, you guys, I doubt it, but 71 points. The Eagles would have 17 wins if they win, or the Chiefs would have 17 wins if they win. Irrefutable, okay? Just as above, so below, if this plays out like this for either team. And this is all coming out of last year, where they're playing for the 2022 Super Bowl season, and that ties us back into, that didn't go down there, the sacred feminine, giving us that same 71, tying us into that 52, rabbit, playing in the rabbit year, okay? So irrefutable, undeniable, and this is Super Bowl LVII, giving us that same 52, okay? So just showing you how I'm making these connections to this nonsense shared online, okay? Just getting people distracted, broken, confused, okay? Not surprised, okay? Maybe they are really leaking this score ahead of time, but I highly doubt it, okay? Look deeper, find deeper truths. But the last Super Bowl for the Eagles won, it was in 2017, the same year that the Houston Astros won, the Philadelphia or Golden State won. We saw those teams just win again, so it could be a repeat. But this was tied back into 2017 when Trump became president, when the Q movement kept putting out all that nonsense. You guys giving us that same 17. Alright, so just making some connections right here, okay? I think it's just nonsense being shared by somebody trying to get prana and energy and likes and tweets. Whatever generated this and sent this out to the algorithms of the masses and hit the circuits and brains of the people, I think it was scripted to have this particular outcome of distraction and reaction. So we need to see it for what it really is, because usually everything popular is fucking wrong, and we need to use discernment, the ability to judge well, okay? Alright, so whatever generated this script right here, it is showing some connections, but we look for the decodes esoterically and go deeper, and we pay attention to the more important things like math, numbers, logic, common sense, rationality, and truth. And I'm wondering if this is kind of like a psychological operations to get a lot of people to put their fiat, their money, on the eagles. The eagle is a symbol for money, okay? You know, that's who I want to win personally. Again, I stated when I did watch football with my dad, I was a Broncos fan, so I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. Why would I want them to win, an AFC team to win? So, who cares? I'm not even going to fucking watch the game. I'm just going to watch the halftime show and decode it, okay? Alright, but this so-called leaked image that is trying to make people believe that this is how it's going to go, it just makes me wonder, is this some kind of apex predator, elite energy harvesting trick by the Mercury, by the god Mercury, which is the eagle, is a symbol for Mercury, Loki, Hermes, the trickster god. Is this just a trick, you guys? In this matrix reality ran by Mercury, the voice between the mortals and the gods, you know, what's going on here? Let's look at this deeper, okay? So seeing this quote-unquote, air-quoted, leaked nonsense energy harvesting upcoming Super Bowl tomorrow, this is not building a belief of more people becoming truthers and decoders. This is causing the exact opposite, okay? We know sports are rigged, maybe not every game, but especially these big games, and now they are just giving us this shit right in front of your eyes. First it's conspiracy that sports are rigged, but now they're giving it to you so that level 1 pioneers and level truthers can run around screaming, see, I know it's gonna happen. And then, you know, those are the people I don't want here in this community anyway, but they're screaming the Eagles are gonna win because it's already been predicted, and if they actually lose, guess who's gonna look fucking stupid? Okay, it's going to further discredit the power and craft that the power of the craft and skill that we're building here. So don't be a level 1 pioneer and truther. Be an alchemist and ascended master, the Christ-like consciousness, okay? Don't look for leaked scripts, okay? Develop your own craft and skill and work your journey to get you to your outcome. It's important that we just continue to keep this mindset, okay? So very important, alright? Alright, so I think that's enough said with the upcoming Super Bowl. You know, there's a lot more that we might talk about. Who knows? I doubt it. It is the 119th anniversary of Sigma Pi Phi, and I found that to be very important, being the 119th year anniversary of Sigma Pi Phi, and you know, that tied us into Rihanna and the 87th element of Francium being the 223 in the 223 year, created by this woman whose name is Margaret Perry. And when we looked her up last time, we saw that she had a birth date of October 19th, so giving us that 119 number, and the 119th year anniversary of Sigma Pi Phi, which is, you know, highly based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I'm getting another connection to Pennsylvania right here around this 119 number, and we know that that's tying us into, like we talked about earlier in the numerology and gematria, this very powerful 119 number in Lucas number series, in the 223 year, in the water rabbit year. Water rabbit, giving us that 119 in numerology. All tying us back into, of course, the Eye of Providence, which is the all-seeing eye. Okay, so very important, giving us that same 119. And I've shared that before, but since I have it pulled up, for those that are new, it's just tying us into the all-seeing eye. And sorry about that. Right here, it ties us into the Eye of Providence. It ties us into the motherboard, you guys, because motherboard equals 119 when you type that out. It ties us into our chakras, our crown chakras, our pineal gland. Okay, it is, what is your chakra, your pineal gland? It is your mind, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what I'm trying to unlock for you, is your mind, your most powerful asset, giving you that same 119. That's tying you back into the ancient god Brahma, giving us that same 119. Okay, so very important. But we know that it's tying us back into our Super Bowl halftime performer, which is Rihanna, you guys. Like I stated in my Super Bowl decode, she's back, giving us that boom, same 110. Rihanna is back. That 110 is tying us in here to Donnie Darko, which was a movie that was released on January 19th. And when you look at Andy Reid, you guys, you see that I shared this in another video. He was born on March 19th, which March is the first month of the year, that 119. So this 119, 322, 52, 25, and 12 are playing very key factors, as well as that 57 in the 57th Super Bowl, all tying us back into all roads lead to Rome, you guys, like we shared before. So very important to make these connections again for you all. Go back, watch the last couple episodes. This will make a lot more sense for you all moving forward. But I definitely didn't want to leave this out around this psychological operation that we're about to see, Super Bowl 57. So with all that being said, let's get into some market psychology before we get into Bitcoin technical analysis, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and hopefully VeChain, Zilliqa, and HBAR, if I don't forget. I know I've been promising that. So some people say to me all the time that it would take them years, or they can never get to where I am with this crafting skill that I've been sharing and developing here. And I promise you, you can. It's not that hard. People make it harder than what it really is, and they get discouraged, and they think that it will take them forever to get to where we are in this community, in this particular area of studying crafting skill. And a huge part of that for me is, I believe your investment thesis and your mindset in crafting skill is something you've got to work on daily. Is just start it. Develop a dollar cost averaging, and start somewhere, $10 here, $20 there, and don't just go all in, which is what most people do when it comes to investing or life. They gamble. Let's demolish that gambler mindset and become a true investor, a true pioneer, and build a foundation that we can build off of. Plant fruit so we can eat fruit in the future and be more sophisticated and provide for our families for the years to come and what we're going to see. You don't actually have to know TA and know how to read a chart to be a great investor. You just have to have a great mindset. You can use someone like me or someone else you like, or follow your basic intuition. But when it comes to actually knowing when to buy or when to sell, that has a lot more to do with your personal life, your personal goals, your personal capital, your portfolio thesis that you have built. And I've personally created my cryptocurrency exit strategy that I released the first week of last year that prepared you all before we saw a 47,000 downtrend from Bitcoin to a $15,000 that you could have all bought for $8.88 on Facebook, and you could have had a de-risking opportunity to buy this great dip like we did. The most comprehensive 14 video jam-packed talking about 6 cryptocurrencies that you can still invest in and use today to better the outcome for your families. Okay, prepare yourself to learn how to exit these markets, read technical analysis, and just get to the basics. It's not around the minutia and monotony. It's actually educational, informational work, and we leave the numbers out of it, the nonsense. Okay, the symbology. We actually teach you how to develop the mindset of being a pioneer based on whatever your goals are. Okay, so a lot of times when people are developing their exit strategy and portfolios, they're only worried about buying, but eventually you need to know when to sell. Okay, and the reason why most people don't understand when to sell is because they're waiting around for a savior and someone to tell them what to do, or the YouTuber or the mainstream media, crypto Twitter, and they're never going to do that, never going to tell you when to sell, because they make money off of you and the exchanges and keeping you locked in the game. Okay, so remember that. And one of the things I've learned over the last few years is if you don't have a plan in place for yourself, your family, and you're waiting around for a savior, and you're not planting fruit for yourself to eat in the future, then you're not going to be a legend and a pioneer. You're not going to take much action along the way, and you're not going to have beneficial benefits for your life in the future. So I can break this down in so many ways, but I don't want to drag this video out. But one, it has to do with your mindset, your cash flow situation, your outcome that you want to see, the amount of savings that you have put up that you're willing to just burn, because when you're investing, that's what you're doing, and then thinking about what it is you want to do with your life afterwards, and build your craft and skill, and do the journey, walk the journey to get to your outcome. And it might take some time for you to figure that out, but follow the work that we're doing here. Develop a craft and skill so you can become a pioneer, divergent, and glitches well, and you can become self-reliant like we have. Okay, so maybe then you can become successful and sovereign and financially stable like we have as well. So let's go ahead and talk about this and get into this deeper for cryptocurrency and technical analysis, and talk about this deeper, longer lasting trend line that we've been talking about for quite some time, that we've been sharing. And this is sharing our lunar cycles and patterns. And was there a better one? Yes, this one right here. And we'll zoom in so we can get a better view of this on the daily time frame. And we see that it goes back quite some time, all the way back into our 2019, all the way back into our 2017 time period, showing a lot of data and a lot of things that are very important to keep in mind. Something we've been sharing for quite some time. We've been sharing this image recently in our past few videos, how we have this major trend line going from the bottom of 2018. We have this pump up, automatic rally, this black swan event, clearly bought right back up, and then we come right back to this trend line in June of 2022 last year, and then trading alongside of it, breaking down, breaking above, fake out, and then getting rejections and breaking down. So when we broke down through it, we had multiple trading days getting rejected, and recently we've just traded back into it, and I've shared this is the reason why Bitcoin's having a tough time breaking out. I mean, we're in a multiple 5+ year trend line rejection right now, so this is a positive time for altcoins to have liquidity flooded into them, since we've got a correction. If we stay low, keep pushing low, or stay sideways, we could get some liquidity pushed into these altcoins, or we could continue to see them bleed out, one or the other. But we did have this trend line that we had drawn, that we had a breakout of. So good environment right now for stable coins to possibly flood into alts, but we're kind of at a make or break point for Bitcoin, and if it folds over, it's going to regain dominance more than likely, and if it pumps up, it's going to regain dominance more than likely. And we're just at this position where we need to wait on what Bitcoin needs to do, and we're not Bitcoin enthusiasts. We just understand it's the artificial sun created by Satoshi Nakamoto, who is Saturn, okay? So Father Time. So this right now is showing signs of weakness in the short term, but holding 21,500, that very crucial horizontal range right here that we need to maintain. So something we need to see is continuing to try and work our way back up to 23,000, okay? Push up to that 25,000. All right, we're starting to see the RSI reset, get below the 50, okay? That's a good thing. All right, in my last videos, we knew it was absolutely ludicrous to see a 95 RSI on the 12-hour. That's not good. All right, so clearly still in a bearish divergence with prior price action, so we'll pay attention to that. Let's get to the weekly close, because we did close tomorrow, depending on what happens tomorrow, Sunday, we could be in a bearish divergence. So we're still lower than our week prior, okay? So undoing the gains of the past 2 weeks, you guys, could undo the gains of the third week prior. So let's see what's going on. Let's put on some exponential moving averages. Yeah, the 223 getting rejected from this 223. Yeah, we're below both the 255, and I don't see the 8s. Yeah. So I'm still believing that our automatic rally could be in the mid-30s if we get back above this. No one anticipated this move back here to be this dramatic, and everybody on crypto Twitter is believing it's going to be more like the first cycle of Bitcoin. But we get this green breakout, and this green breakout right here is very akin to this right here, and then we had this struggle of 4 to 5 weeks of trading sideways, and that's pretty much where we are right here. And then we just zoom Mazda zoom up through it, and it took up until around May, June, and that's when the eclipses were happening back in that time period, you guys. So very important. And we know this year the eclipses are in April 20th and May 5th, so we're moving earlier. It's amazing how coded in this 82-day span from 6 days before the eclipse, getting our breakout, 82-day span, 6 days before the eclipse, getting the breakout. So we hit our low, rose into an automatic rally, and then came into a spring. Didn't set a lower low, but set another low before blow off top, parabolic rally. So We were in a solar cycle, lunar cycle, downtrend, solar cycle, lunar cycle, downtrend, solar cycle, lunar cycle, downtrend. We're about to enter another solar cycle, you guys. So very important, okay? So this wasn't quite a solar cycle, it was really back here, but Q4, Q1, Q4, Q4 are where we tend to get all-time highs and all-time lows. So we could see that deviate, but over 13, 14 years, it's been around Q4 that we hit all-time highs and all-time lows. So very important. The cyclical nature of this coin has been proven over time. So I think what we're seeing is very similar to this moment of right here, April and May of 2019. Okay, so this is the final moments retesting this descending wedge pattern before we continue to move on up. Look how perfect this is. So if Bitcoin was to start closing dailies around 21,500 and continue up, break 22,300, 22,700, we can be in a premium position to continue to rally up, you guys. But I don't know if this is gonna happen. What would start to make sense is if we come back down and, you know, consolidate here, build structure, let this RSI recool, and then continue on up. If we do move down to this, I don't know, this CME gap, if we were to pull it off soon, it would probably be a very dramatic wick that gets bought right back up, okay, down to this $18,700 range, the 187, the queen died around, you know, September, you know, 187 is the penal code for murder. Who knows, okay? I'm not saying that can happen, but Bitcoin can do this very easily where it just wicks down in a couple 2-hour time frames and it's bought right back up. You know, it can trap the shorts and then liquidate you and continue the other way, okay? So very normal market maker energy, okay? So if we're gonna have retest, I would assume that it would be higher to the upside than lower, but we need to be cautious because we're at this make or break moment. We saw the Fed spoke the other day on the 2.7, and then we saw a downtrend. Not fucking surprising, but around tomorrow, the 13th, the 14th, the new moon of February, we should start to see the market move into another leg up. So, you know, we tend to long the full moons, but definitely by March, okay, into February. So let's look into Ethereum real quick, doing the pretty much similar same thing, just not really wanting to break out fully, getting rejected below these exponentials. You know, if we look at this on the daily time frame, just daily red candle over and over and over again, just zigzagging right here. This is the territory right here where it will be best to have a little bit of a pullback, dollar cost average in, not financial advice. And if we're going to do this over moving averages, it'd probably be retesting this 111 exponential moving average, this 143, maybe even a little bit lower, a $1,400, reset all the momentum on the oscillators, you know, and then have an opportunity to get bought right back up, hold support, and push even higher, okay? Because if we were to just continue to blast up like we were, then there wouldn't be as many gains as comparative to having a healthy pullback and then possibly even pushing higher as to maybe $3,300, $3,300, $3,000 around this 0.5 fib, this 618, you know, who knows, okay? So 3,000 is definitely possibly in the cards, especially if we consolidate, build range and structure and strength. Okay, let's look at the weekly real quick and see if we're getting anything. And yeah, bearish divergence, riding on this, you know, getting below this 200 exponential, not good. We want to close above this 21, this 13. This is so very important. That could take some time though, you guys, but holding this 14,070, 14,500, that'd be very positive for the altcoins if it was to hold that and then start continuing up. It could bring these altcoins up, okay? So let's keep that in mind. But if we were to start closing below these levels around 1450, 1400, that'd be a signal for me to get ready to accumulate and reaccumulate, and that would consist of Bitcoin falling to around closing the CME gap sooner than later, you guys. Okay, very volatile, very quick, bought up. Okay. All right. So quickly looking at XRP real quick before we continue on. Okay. XRP. What are we looking at? This is the weekly time frame. Let's look at this on the daily first before we get too ahead of ourselves. Okay, yeah. Just constantly getting rejected from this 200 exponential at around 41 cents. XRP equals 14, the mirror of 41. Not surprising, okay? We teach you this. Alright, falling below this 55, setting around 38 cents. The 3 8s. Not surprising, okay? The sell-off coming in on 2.9, not surprising, you guys. This is making a lot of sense for just a short-term back test, possibly pull back to 36, hopefully hold support, and we're just building up a lot of trading range in the high 30 cent areas, the high 40 cent, low 40 cent area. So I mean, if we were to have a breakout into a relief rally of around 51, 76, 86 cents, then we might not ever come back below the 30 cent, 32 cent layer ever again in regards to XRP, as regards to some of the other cryptocurrencies. I'm not saying we won't, okay? This is a possibility, and if it does happen, it possibly won't last long, like we've been talking about, okay? But because we've had this moment from May all the way now, over 200 days of sideways consolidation, and we haven't spent a lot of time below this 30 cents, I like that XRP is shifting up into the high 30s, 40 cents, you know. It took years to get back above 30 cents back here, okay? Quite some time. So just taking this one layer at a time. Alright, just filling out these trading ranges, which is healthy. Getting below the 322, the 223. Not surprising, okay? We know XRP doesn't have a lot of dramatic sell-offs like a lot of other assets, but the pumps on it are very random. You got to take action before it sells off, and it's proven time ahead again. Pump, sideways trading, dump, okay? Over and over again. Something we've been talking about on this channel for all the way back since C19, okay? March of 2020, okay? So irrefutable, undeniable. It is a trader's coin, not a hodler's coin, which means we're in a process right now, in a time right now where we need to see this asset develop price discovery, okay? Or blow off top, okay? It is yet to do that in 5 years, and it's making this asset a little bit more boring and speculative, but that's great for us pioneers and sophisticated investors. We love boring, okay? We don't care about the SEC case. So shout out to anybody that's come over from the XRP community groups that I post in, or anybody that's interested in cryptocurrency. You probably realize I have a very odd take on this, but it's based on the esotericism. I'm using technical analysis, so whether you don't want to believe the gematria, numerologies, the symbolism, it doesn't matter. We're looking at this from an experienced professional charting view as well, combining that all together as to why these things move the way they do, regardless of what happens with the SEC case, or Flair, or Songbird, or the news, or whatever somebody says. We know our strategy, we know our code, and going through our craft and skill that we've excuse me, that we've developed, XRP has been one of my most successful plays that have changed my life over the last 3 years. I enjoy doing TA on this, but like I said, I'm sophisticated, a trader in this coin. I'm not hodling it. I've got a bag put up for lifetime, but I'm taking profits along the way and reaccumulate in this choppy market that's been going on for over 5 years now. So we're all waiting on a price discovery moment, and I would not be surprised if we're getting very close to something like this and this. I'm not trying to hype people up, but I think the more informational I am and the more suppressed and sideways this is, the more explosive breakout is in the cards. Whether it's around the SEC narrative or whatever, it's all going to be because of technical analysis, astrology, Grimoire, and date numerology. I can guarantee it, and we'll prove it. So we could have a short-term back test in this market to 32, 31 cents, but it's all going to depend on what Bitcoin does. The stock market is completely just up and down, really volatile lately. We had earnings report come in on February 2nd, where we saw our downtrend come in for Bitcoin in the markets. So let's just continue to let this energy play out. So by the end of this Super Bowl ritual, moving into the new moon of February, into the beginning of March, the true first beginning new year, the spring, I think we'll have a lot more clarity on this next move for the market. So let's let it play out here, okay? And if you're new to this market, do not date it, do not hate it, just trade it. Be a sophisticated investor and have a dollar cost average strategy. This is not the time to play with your investments moving forward. So let's remember that, pioneers. But let's go ahead, like I promised, and go ahead and get into some quick technical analysis around HBAR and Zilliqa and VeChain, some very important holdings that I know a lot of people are interested in, something we hold here, and something I promised I would get out before I ended this video. So a little bit more technical analysis before we get into the end of this video. But when we see a long buying climax with a selling climax and a spike like this above these very important exponential moving averages that we teach you about, this is a confirmation of a selling climax coming in. And this thing lost pretty much all of its value to, like we talked about, pretty much 93%, tying us into Saturn. We know this is tied into a Saturn coin. Okay, so very important. Okay, so let's pull up some fibs. And we'll pull one up from swing high to swing low, and we can see that this thing has a lot of room to go. I mean, irrefutable, undeniable, all the way up to our automatic rally. Let's go on the weekly time frame. We're just seeing a straight line breakout, you guys. So when we lose the value, we can straight line fall back down to our previous beginning ranges, double bottom, nothing special, and then we can just get a break line, a straight line breakout. Okay, this is normal price action and TA on an altcoin, and I'm bullish on HBAR for the future, possibly hitting this 382, this 23. I bet on this coin for the future and what it has to bring for my portfolio. And it's a Saturn coin, and once you know about mythologies, you know the truth. Okay, so this is looking very similar to how selling climaxes end before a bear trap. You get bearish trapped, and then you move into an automatic rally where you eventually get bullish trapped, and then you come back down. So who knows? We've been in this obviously downtrend for 476 days, and we've just popped out of this low. Pretty solid, you guys. Not financial advice, not saying invest. We should have been investing, but almost 2 years. This was about time to have this moment right here in Hedera Hashgraph. But let's look at some levels. If we were to pull a fib from right here, yeah, if we were to pull from this long wick and top to the sell down, we blasted past the 1618 and we've yet to get back above it, and that's not very healthy, you guys. We want to get back above this 1618 and then try and get to this 28 cents. It's 24 cents, 23 cents. It's going to be hard to get back above. That could be where our automatic rally ends before we come back down over time, before continuation. So the next level to look for is most definitely going to be this, breaking this 618, holding support at 10 cents. Had our buying climax, distributional top, return down to around 14 cents. Okay, had a rally up, came back down to around that same, close to 14 cents. So yeah, very key level is gonna be 20 cents, you guys. 21 cents. It's gonna be a very key level around this range. That could be the top of our automatic rally. So we'll have to pay attention to that moving forward. So just keeping this short. Let's go ahead and get into Zilliqa. Not really a lot to say. Same thing, just in a daily time frame. The same exact thing applies. Seeing if we can't get back into, wow, I'd say this 16 cents to around this 14-15 cent area. If we were to get back above 4 cents, these exponential moving averages we see every time we just have a rally. Maybe it's not as high, but we had this euphoric de-risking opportunity we took advantage of last year. But possibly to see about, it'd be lucky to see that 17 cent range right here for Zilliqa in the near distant future. And last one we're going to quickly look at is VeChain. Same thing, just seeing if we can go ahead and get back to this 1618 that we failed to get back above, sitting right there at around 5 cents, and then seeing if we can maybe possibly break this previous high of 9 cents to see if we can get right there at around another 17 cents, 18 cents. Very important. These are going to be some key ranges to pay attention to, where we see some major resistance from our golden pocket range. So very important. Alright, with all that being said, you guys, I'm going to sign out of this one. I certainly hope you've all enjoyed it. We'll come out with a short clip of Behind the Roses of Lupercalia and St. Valentine's Day in another video, probably before Valentine's. So take care and God bless. Pioneers rise, build your fortress and build your legacy.